overcomer, and to those who hear, and to those who hear. You know, the invitation is to all people. It's to all people. To him who overcomes, I will give the right to sit with me on my throne, just as I overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him overcomes. You know, and, you know, I've talked about this earlier. I'm going to close, you know, we're closing this thing out, but, you know, the question this brings, you know, we need to know is who is the overcomer? Who is the overcomer? Well, the neat thing about this is the Bible tells us this. The Bible tells us this. Because this is a very important statement, people, and we need to know the answer to this question. You need to know the answer to this question. Verse 21 tells us, to him who overcomes, I will give the right to sit with me on my throne, just as I overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne. So we need to know the answer to this question. Let's go to 1 John chapter 5. 1 John chapter 5. We're winding this thing down. Verses 4 and 5. Verse 4. For everyone. What's everyone mean? What's all mean? For everyone born of God overcomes the world. This is the victory that has overcome the world, even our faith. Who is it that overcomes the world? Only he who believes that Jesus is the Son of God. So you get your answer there. Only he who believes that Jesus is the Son of God. We don't overcome by keeping laws. We don't overcome by doing works. We don't overcome by joining a church. Only we overcome by he that believeth that Jesus is the Son of God. Lastly, he who has an ear. And of course, if you're hearing me, you've got an ear. I know I can hear. My wife says I can't hear sometimes, but I can hear. He who has an ear, some of all 7 churches in our letters. You know, we need to keep in mind, you know, there's people that need to hear this in all churches. But he who has an ear. Does Laodicea characterize our time age today? Well, that's something that we need to keep in mind. Closing out with this statement, I believe that we are coming to the end of the church age. We're coming to an end of time where God is going to shut the door. Chapter 4 starts with after these things. After what things? The church age. And one of the things we're going to find out is the rest of the book, starting with chapter 4, on the church is not mentioned. We don't find the church mentioned again, maybe till the very end of the book. Will we be watching from heaven? Laodicea will go into the tribulation. Only those who overcome and repent as individuals will be the only ones that won't. Where will you be going? You know, this has nothing to do with the nameplate on the door. You know, it's amazing to me how many people think a denominational name in a church membership will save them. Ain't the case. Ain't the case. It's a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Remember, each church saw themselves differently than how God saw them. Very likely the view that me and you have of your church may not be how God sees the church. He who hath an ear. By the way, that statement appears 7 times in the 7 letters, 1 in each letter. It also appears 7 times in the Gospels. Interesting. Just threw that out there for extra. And closing out with this statement, all of us are guilty personally. All of us have elements of Ephesus that we have lost our first love. All of us experienced the persecution of Smyrna. All of us have married the world like Pergamos. All of us have some idolatry like Thyatira did. All of us are guilty of living a name but are really dead. All of us, hopefully, most of us can claim the promise that was given in Philadelphia. And lastly, all of us hope that we do not fall into the complacency of Laodicea and partake of their grim destiny. And people, that concludes the study of the seven churches. And see, it really wasn't all that bad, People say, I can't understand the book of Revelation. Well, I've just taken you through the first three chapters. And so if we'll just take our time and work through there, and I'll try to start getting chapter 4 on there before too long. Give me a few days to do that, but I hope you've really enjoyed the study of the first three chapters of Revelation. And, it's my hope and my prayer that, those that have been listening, that you know Christ. And if you don't, it's my prayer that you'll seek Him and to find Him. So I'd like to thank you for listening, and you guys have a great day.